the Delta Blues. This sounds lovely.
But someday, baby, you ain't gonna trouble for me anymore.
It's showtime, folks.
Hey everybody, welcome to Into the Music. I'm Andy, and the gentleman over there, well, you all know him as Greg, aka the Big Kahuna. He is our gracious host here on Into the Music. Greg, I understand you have a song suggestion for me, so what do you got?
I do. I have a really good one, I think. But
Okay.
And every time I do something like that, I raise the bar. I should just come in really cool, like a poker player. Just come in cool hand Luke. Just be like, yeah, sure, Andy, I got something for you.
Oh, okay, all right.
Well, yeah, you may like it.
I'll give it a passing listen.
But I'm like, oh my god, it's gonna be the greatest thing. And then the bar goes high, and you're like, what the? So you ever hear of a guy named R.L. Burnside?
No, I can't say that I have. God, what a historical sounding name, though. But no, I don't think I have.
Historically, it does sound like,
You know what I mean?
the great R.L. Burnside.
R.L. Burnside.
He's got a song called "Someday Baby."
Okay, no, not familiar. So this will be Flying Blind, which is nothing new to me. So I'll give it a listen.
All right, find your way over there and come on back.
Okay.
You on out there? All right, let's get this thing moving.
Don't care how long you gone, how long you stay. Yeah, good time treatment, bring it home one day.
Oh, the Delta Blues. This sounds lovely.
But someday, baby, you ain't gonna trouble for me anymore.
Good, my girl, better get gone, had a great time, got me pretty good, had a good thing, going, got more than you gained, goddamn it, now give it to your girl, you got game. Good, my girl, better get gone, had a great time, got me pretty good, had a good thing, going, got more than you gained, goddamn it, now give it to your girl, you got game.
Just keep on betting, and the days don't pass. Yeah, you know, darling, you're living too fast. But someday, baby, you ain't gonna trouble for me anymore.
Good, my girl, better get gone, had a great time, got me pretty good, had a good thing, going, got more than you gained, goddamn it, now give it to your girl, you got game. Good, my girl, better get gone, had a great time, got me pretty good, had a good thing, going, got more than you gained, goddamn it, now give it to your girl, you got game.
Yeah, goodbye, baby. Here we go and gone. Yeah, without love, you can't stay long. But someday, baby, you ain't gonna trouble for me anymore. But someday, baby, you ain't gonna trouble for me anymore.
Good, my girl, better get
Ooh, that flourish on the cowbell or block. Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, it's simple but effective.
For me anymore.
Good, my girl, better get gone, had a great time, got me pretty good, had a good thing, going, got more than you gained, goddamn
Wow. Great song. Loved the music. Loved the vocals. Couldn't make out all the lyrics all the time, but that's not because they weren't clear. I was just wrapped up in what was happening musically. But God damn. Yeah. Let's talk to G about this one. See what he has to say.
Hey, look at you. You're back.
I
Yeah,
am.
that's usually the way it always works, right? So and you found your way. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, what do you say? What do you say about this one?
Oh man. Delta Blues was the instant vibe I got off it, man. That twangy blues guitar was so good. Um, I took some notes here. Yeah, Delta Blues guitar just had that dirty South kind of like Mississippi Delta sound to it, and that was nice little change of pace, something that I wasn't expecting. Um, and I really liked there's like every time the chorus hit, there was like the way the vocals were delivered. I don't even know if it was the same person, but it's maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. But okay, it wasn't. Okay. But it was like this staccato delivery of like just words
Like
hitting
a
like
wave.
like, yeah. Or just like a hammer, like word.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh man, it was hard to keep up with them. I heard like the goddamn and it was just like, oh, this is really cool and interesting. This makes me want to like look into the lyrics, which I haven't yet. But very fun. There was also this element of backing vocals that was subtle, but it was like these who's that were going on from time to time, and I thought that was really cool and fun. They
So you picked up on that. It's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. That was something that kind of I'm looking for any variants. Yeah, exactly. So that was really cool.
Wait, can I stop you? Wait, can I stop you
sure.
1 second? Because there's that first time when the Who's come in, and then when they go around again, the Who's are a little different. Did you pick up on that? You got to go back. The Who's are a little bit different than the first
Okay,
one.
I'm gonna probably have to go back and look for the differentiating who's in the different points. But yeah, I mean, I wanted to listen to it a second time, but yeah, I will. I certainly do so next listen.
But you did not break the rules. You came back after just the first listen. That's good.
Yeah. It's very rare that I break the rules. I don't.
John does that. John sometimes goes back and listens again, and I'm like, who told you to do that? No, you can listen to it. No, you can actually, right? Actually, no one's stopping any of us from like listening to it again. That's actually a compliment, right?
Yeah.
I kept you waiting for 10 minutes because I had to listen to it again. But anyway.
Well, now that I know I have the green light, I may use that out from time to time.
Cool.
There was like 2/3 of the way through the song, or maybe 3/4 of the way through the song, the organ really started to like be like, oh hey, blues guitar, let me show you what else we can do with this. And it made an appearance. Loved that. Then this is so seemingly unimportant, but this ridiculous flourish of cowbell that occurs at some point.
Yeah, you picked up on it.
It's like, oh my god, it got me right away.
Isn't that great?
It's the only time I think I've ever taken a song back just to hear a cowbell. Like usually it's a lead guitar, some sick bass fill or drums.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, I just want to hear that again because it's like and it has that same staccato, punchy sound quality that chorus hook has that makes its appearance a couple times in the song. So yeah, it was really really cool.
Wait, Christopher Walken never heard this song because if he would have heard this song, then more cowbell. Just go to this song. There's plenty of cowbell. That cowbell explosion. No, I love that. When I first heard that, it was because by that time, right? By that time, like I said, 2/3 of the song has already gone in the energy, and that, like you said, that kind of good bad girl, better get gone, had a great time, got beat pretty good, had a good thing going, got more than you gave, goddamn, but now I'll give it to you, girl, got game.
Yeah, there is so much G alliteration.
Yeah, and that dancing that young kids when they're kind of like dancing, it's like it's almost like everything's like pushing, like din 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 din. It just pushes, it forces. It's and and the contrast to R.L. Burnside. So it's R.L. Burnside who's singing that kind of Delta blues kind of sound, with like, don't care how long we go, I'm home, be home in a day. Yeah, good times, 3 men playing pool one day. But someday, baby, you ain't gonna trouble for me anymore. And then that goodbye girl bit, and then that pushing of just the contrast there. It's so interesting. But yeah, you know.
Yeah, it was a tune, man. I loved it. I loved it. And it was again like this welcome respite, almost like Badu was when we did that. It was like, oh man,
Yeah.
we haven't really gone down this path in a while, or touched on this genre, and this is fun. I mean, obviously we got our main staples that we go to, but these little curveballs or gems that might not have been in our purview are really great to stumble upon. And it's been a hot minute since I've gotten some of that real southern deep South blues in a song, and this is just super cool, man. You don't get much cooler than this. This is like the other side of the pillow.
Now, how do you feel about, because I know Moby did this back in his album. He's done this like this maybe in more than one album. But there was that one, I actually have it. He struck gold with this like in the 90s. Oh Lord, trouble so hard. That whole album. Yeah. And something blues or something, right? But in that album, he basically, he captured R&B singers, blues singers from way back, and just captured their recordings, their vocals, and then put it into sort of reproduced songs, things that he wrote, or things that, or maybe songs that try to stay true to the song, but in a more modern sort of modern day version. I don't know, but so I don't know how you feel about that, but that's kind of what they did here. So
I love it. It's funny that you mentioned that, because it reminded me of one of my favorite albums of all time, an album that resonates with me till the day I die, Graceland by Paul Simon, where there's all this tapping into other sounds, like not only Africa, where he went to get so much of the South African like rhythm section stuff, but he definitely leaned into some Delta blues stuff on that, and Louisiana, and like all that Zydeco stuff. Like he tapped into that in that album, and it's so welcome. It's so different.
Yeah.
And this is sort of like, oh man, this kind of reminds me of that. Someone kind of putting a twist on it.
Because not everything is good, right? Like they're taking these people's voices, songs, and then like in their interpretation, and if it's not really true, or you put it to something that's repackaged that maybe that's not true to them as an artist. I think that's the problem that some people have. I think with this, where this works. So American blues singer, songwriter, guitarist. He died in 2005 at the age of 78. I believe it was 2004 when this album, his 13th, came out, and it's called A Bothered Mind. I love the name of that album.
Yeah, it's evocative.
So, but what happened is that in the late 90s, so like he had a career. I mean, he was a blues singer, and throughout almost his whole entire life. In the late 90s, he recorded and toured with John Spencer Blues Explosion. Chris and I did a song of theirs like about a year ago. You probably heard of them. Yeah. And so he was touring with him. And so he was getting sort of like, fame and notoriety, sort of refound stuff. And so, so what happened, that there's this record label, I don't know if this still exists now, but back then, Fat Possum Records. And so they went ahead and they actually took his older recordings and included his vocals on these new songs, or on these songs that are in this album. And one of them is this song, Someday Baby. So, and R.L. Burnside, regarding the fact of what they did, this is what he said, quote, "At first I didn't like them too much. Then I saw how much money they were making, and I got to liking them very well."
That sounds about right.
So, okay. Cha-ching, cha-ching, which is fine. I mean, think about it, right? I mean, all those years, just doing what he loved, but not really, not really getting the money, not getting the fame or whatever. And then look what this brings him. I just think this is just genius. I really do.
It's super clever. Now, forgive me. This particular track came out when?
This was 2004. This was yeah. Oh, and check it out. The guy who's doing that, dan, right? His name is Lyrics Born. He used to be Asian born because he was born in Tokyo, but then in 1995 he changed it because he felt like he didn't want to be known like just by ethnicity. So he changed it from Asian born to Lyrics Born. His real name is Sutomu Shimura,
Okay.
otherwise known as Tom. So, and I think he was like around 30 when he recorded this, and now he's like 49. So he's known as a Japanese American rapper, singer, producer. So it's really interesting. And I try to get information as to like how they linked him, connected him, to the song, like to, get this guy to do that, on this song. Like, but to me, there's just a genius stroke. Sometimes lightning, it just, you don't know where it's gonna come, and when, but when it does, it's like, okay, and there you
It's
go.
really, it's so encouraging to see like niche styles of music that are, for all intents and purposes, kind of a thing of history. Not to say that they don't still have legs, but like the time for Delta blues, Time in the Sun, is kind of past, even though it's a beautiful art form.
Yeah.
But it's so cool to see, like, people from all over loving it, respecting it, handling it with, in my mind, care and respect that it deserves, sort of reverence.
Yes.
It's really cool and encouraging to see. So this is, what a find. What an interesting just story behind the whole thing.
I think, at least again, without hearing all the other songs, I think for this one, I think they did a really great job in giving it a fresh injection.
Yeah.
And right. But without really kind of compromising this song, so and make it into something great. So so cool. So with that said, I'm so glad you like this. So why don't you take us out? Take us out.
Everybody out there, I hope you all liked it too. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe if you want. Thank you so much for joining us. Leave your comments below if you have any as it relates to this tune or others by them. Greg, thank you so much for being a gracious host as always, sir. A doff of the cap to you. Everybody, take care, and we'll see you all in the next episode of Into the Music.
See ya.